Hi, so I'm just going to be demoing my database for Oracle and SQL Developer. So this database is for a company that is, let's say, a beauty slash makeup company, maybe that has launch events for each of their products. And so they have teams of people who work on each launch event, and they hire people externally from like agencies or photographers, and so to um, work on the launch event as well. And so I guess the first thing I'll go through is importing the data into the tables. So I've already kind of done everything, but I guess I can just show how like I did it and not do it again, I guess. But so to import data into a table, so I've done it for four tables: product, photos, model, and agency. And so basically you'd import data from here, and then you'd browse for your uh, Excel file that you want to import the data from. And so I have like four worksheets here where they have all of the different tables information in different worksheets. And so you just like select from there, and then you can pick whichever sheet is relates to what you're doing. So for me it would have been the fourth one, where you have agency. And so you go just next, and um yeah. So here you would select the columns and like rearrange them if they were, let's say, not in the order that they are in your when you created the table over under your user. So mine are in the correct order, so I wouldn't do that. Um and then here I had an issue where this name, the constraint that I'd put in agency for the names of the companies or the agencies that were um, sending people to work for the launch, was like a character limit of 30 maybe. And so, no, it's here. So it's character limit of 20. And so this name is far too long to go in that. So it would actually let you change that. I don't think it's here, but like, how I went about it is that I just imported the rest, so I don't need to do that because I've already done it. But I would import the rest and then just imported that one like by itself, just changing the name so that it was more suitable to the field. And then to export data from uh, the tables, it's a similar process. So you just go to export instead of import, and then again here you can decide where you export it to. So you can export it to uh, this is where I exported mine to, multimedia databases, and then SQL Developer and the SQL Developer bin. And there's an existing file, so I've done that already. But when you do that, this is sent out to um, a file. So this is sent out to a file, and it's called .sql, and basically it's just in there exactly like this, and then you can read it in other programs. Like I read mine from Visual Studio Code. And so that's that. And next, I just wanted to go through like the sequences, or how I like what the different things that went into like building the tables. And so for sequences, I made two. It should be down here. And I made employee number sequence, which this just gives the employees a unique employee number. So they have to start from 1,000 and they end at 9,999, because the employee number, I wanted it to be between 1,000 and 9,999, so it doesn't go over that. And then it increments by one, so each um, employee gets a unique employee number that is just one greater than the one previous. And then Um, yes. So here it just goes about the cycling and the ordering. So they give the employee numbers out in order. So like that's marked yes, and then they don't cycle. So when it gets to 9,999, that's the end, and then we sort it out from there. But yeah, and then there's the salary one, which is again, it's also in the employee table, but it's basically just giving employees a salary that is increments by €2,000 from €30,000. So it goes up from 30,000 all the way up to 150,000, and it increments by €2,000 each time. And then it doesn't cycle, and it also is not in like a particular order. Um, yeah, I think yeah. Next was triggers. So I had made triggers for both the I made triggers for two tables, but I couldn't actually find them in the triggers folder, but I do have them in my document. So yeah, so basically we have it here where we've got the first trigger, which this is the products trigger, and it updates team after let's say, so if the launch for the product is completed and like that's finished, then it recycles the product code, and so it updates that to a new product code because the team would be working on a new product, and so it references the old product code as completed and the new product code as to do. And then the second one I made was for the employees table, and again it's after it updates as well, but it updates the salary of the employee like by, so it will give them a new salary using the sequence when the again the launch is considered finished. So it's like they get a promotion each time they complete a launch or so, and their salary goes up. And then the pre-launch or the old salary would be referenced as pre-launch, and the new salary would be referenced as post-launch. And yeah, so those are those. And then we have views. And so I made two views. Or did I make three views? No, I wasn't going to use this one. So we have here, this is the model view. So this is just a view that it collects the model's name, model's agent's name, and the ID of the photos that they're in, and it um, shows that to get those three together. And if we run a query on that, so if we select all from model view, then you have the model's name, the agent's name, and their photo ID here. And then we also have view 1, which is not a great name, but, and this is the a view on the photos. No, this is a view on the team's table, and it shows the deadline, the product code, and the team number for a team. And so again, it just um what's the word? Outputs outputs that together as this down here. And so, oh yes, this one was a concatenation one, I think, where it concatenates the employee's first and last name as um as one name, and then it also gives their employee number as well. So if I was to just run that query real quickly, it would give the employee's first name and last name, although it gives them like together, which is not ideal, but it gives their first and last name and their employee number, which would be exactly in the order from the sequence. Yeah. And then I just wanted to go to like the user, like making a user. So I only have one user because which is a admin user because I couldn't figure out the naming convention of a local user. So I know that the like if you give a user administrative privileges, then it's um C hash hash and then the name. But if they don't have them, I thought that it would just be you'd just be able to go and give them just a simple name, but I'm not 100% sure, so I didn't create a user. Um, I just didn't get time to do that. But essentially, we've got this is the admin user. I guess we just go through how to make a new user, or at least how to make a new administrative user. And so you just go down to the so this would be XE is where we want to be. Actually, so this is in the admin user, and this is how I thought that you could make a different user, but I'm not so sure if I could make a local user, but I think I could make a common user, which would be one that you'd give administrative privileges. So if I was to go see and then uh, secretary and then give them like a random password and grant them roles and privileges. So here you grant them basically all roles. And then when it comes to system privileges, I just want grant all, but then you come down here to S and then you don't give them SysDBA or SysRack and then apply. Okay, so I think the issue here was that I was trying to create that from the admin user when if I was creating it from the XE file or connection, I think it would work from there. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. And then you grant them all roles and you grant all privileges and then revoke the SysDBA privilege. It's okay. And you revoke SysRack and then apply. This might be because I put a number in the name. Alright, maybe I'll come back to that. Then we have the queries. So I did all my queries in this page here. So I guess we'll look at it from there. I had inserted, so I used the import um method to import most of my um data, but then I also used the insert statement to import or insert some of the data too, especially because these had the sequences in them, and I was worried that if I was trying to import that from a table, it wouldn't, I couldn't see how that would work. So I done that, and then when it came to the teams, I think I had an issue where I had wanted to make teams up of, so I have 10 people, 10 employees here. But when I wanted to make up the teams, I was making teams up of two people was the original idea. But when it actually came down to trying to do that, then it was a bit complicated, and I couldn't actually. I think when we were doing NoSQL databases, there was a way to just create an array and insert multiple, let's say, employees into a table, but that just didn't seem to work here. So I eventually just went with putting one employee into each table via their employee number. Yeah. And so then we go just through the queries. So my first query is to select the model's name, age, and agent's name from model, where that is not my first query. My first query is to select the first query is to select all from employee where the employee number was greater than 1,000, which would essentially um you do with this, where the employee number is there, and then you have their first name, last name, salary, and team number. And then you have the second query where we select the model's name, age, agent, and agent's name from model, where the agent's name um is in, and then you select the agent's name from agency, where the agency name is Ford Models, and then you order it by the agent's name. And so when you run that, we got this where so we had the agent's name in order, and then you have the model's name over here and their ages over here. And so that was second. And the third one was to select the model uh, and the agency name, and then the photo ID from models. And so this was to demonstrate an inner join, so like from photos, so we're joining by the primary and foreign keys. So the one of models' foreign keys is photo ID, and photo's primary key is photo ID. And so we're selecting the model's name, agency name, and photo ID from model, and then we're inner joining to photos, where the model's photo we're connected by like the model's photo ID and the photo's photo ID, and then just randomly where the model is under, where is that, greater than 25, older than 25. And so we have four models and then with their agency names and their photo IDs, so of the photos that they are in, because those would be the four models that were over 25. And then we have our next one, which is select photographer, shoot date, model name, and photo ID from photos, where the model name is um in, and then we're selecting the model name from uh, model where the agent's name. So this was just to demonstrate that is not null. So we're ordering by the shoot date descending, and so we're saying essentially that we're selecting these variables from photos where the model's name, and then we're linking that back to the model's name in the model table where the agent's name, so that is when they have an agent essentially, and then we're ordering by the date that the photograph is taken in descending order. And then when we run that, you have this here. So you have Maria Rodriguez, and like the shoot date is the 8th of July, and then we go all the way back to the 12th of April, and then you have their model name and then the photo ID. And then finally, the last one is to have select the surname and the average salary, and then we're selecting the average salary from employee, and then group by the employee's last name, having the average salary being less than or greater than 35,000. And so you have the model's surnames, and then we have the average salary. So I guess because they would have multiple salaries over the course of the time, they'd have their pre-launch salary and their post-launch salary. And so that is everything I wanted to demonstrate today. Thank you.